Okay, so we're out here. We're gonna release beaver number 3. The other ones have already started chewing on some stuff. You see that little white spot on the bottom of that tree over there? That's just them gnawing a little bit. The one, he was swimming right there. I don't know where he's at. There he is. I don't know if you can see him right there. They're working pretty hard, probably trying to get their place together for the night's out. The other one was under the water just a second ago. I saw those bubbles. But I had some questions asked to me as to why it would make a difference if I let them loose out here and not just become another problem. This piece of property is in CRP, which is a wildlife expansion type program from the state. And it expands the wildlife habitat and everything like that. This pond also sets in such a manner that it will not flood out any sort of crop ground or any sort of field or home or anything like that. So what we're dealing with here is a high banked pond like this. It's got good runoff that comes into it. They're not really going to be building much of a dam or doing anything like that. They got plenty of trees. They're not going to hurt any sort of hardwood timber, any sort of money timber, anything like that a landowner or farmer or anybody's dependent upon. It is surrounded by cattle field on the outside of this 200 plus acres. That is kind of a rolling cattle field. There's not really anything that's going to flood out and it mess up. There's no crop fields bordering it or anything like that. And there's also another pond just over the hill that they can expand to before they ever even try to leave this area, this piece of property. So that kind of explains why this piece of property is okay and it's not going to become a problem. And there you go. So what we're going to do, I got the youngins with me tonight. This beaver is much smaller than the other ones, but she's going to lift this lid up and we're going to let him go. That way he can go out there and be with everybody else. All right, go ahead, Kenzie. Straight up with it. I'll come help you. Now him, unlike the other ones, was ready to get out of there. The other ones took their time. This one, he's ready to be out there with everybody else. And I do not know where the other one is. He went under. I saw him for a minute. There's two, there's one, there's another one. But the third one, that one just flipped down. I saw him for a second. I don't know where he is. All right, guys, but this is their new home. And we'll continue catching them and removing them until they're all gone. And that's kind of what we do. Let y'all watch him swim for a second there. Yeah, see right there? Just swim around checking everything out. I wish one of them would smack the water. It's always fun to listen to. There's the other one. Like I said, I don't know where number 3 is. And there is that possibility that he has gone on to the other pond. But there they are swimming around. Pretty neat, huh, kids?
Yeah.
And to clear up some other things, people have, been messaging me different questions and stuff like that. I do not get to release all the beaver I catch, and that's just a fact. There's not enough places like this that I can take beaver to, so I reserve them for very special occasions, whenever we have, a customer that really requests that they, be taken somewhere where they can't harm anything. The law is that on private land, I have to have 100 plus consecutive acres with good habitat to release wildlife and sign permission by the property owner. On state ground, you have to have 300 consecutive acres controlled by one, either park ranger or property manager or game warden, something like that. And they have to be in a manner in which that they will not cause overpopulation or damage. So state ground really is off limits for releasing much of any animals, to be honest with you. Because they are so overrun with the parks and everything anyway, with raccoons and skunks and possums, everything like that. So I depend upon private landowners to give me permission on their properties to release certain animals. It is actually illegal for a private citizen without the proper permits to release wildlife just out at LBL or anywhere like that. It is a punishable offense. And so, it's one of those things where it doesn't seem like it has a reason, but it does, because you don't know when an animal has a disease or an animal is unable to be released out in the wild, or there's an overpopulation in that area as it is. And when that, becomes things like distemper and starvation and mange and rabies and the spread of 1,000 other things. So, it ends up being no good. So the whole thing is that, without knowing what you're doing, you think you're helping, but you're not. And like I said, it's actually a crime to release wildlife without the right permits and or permission. So that, I think, clears up most of the questions. And the raccoon, I didn't think to film that. That was asked about the raccoon. I didn't think about it because everything was mainly about the beaver. So sorry about that for all the ones asking about the raccoon. All right, that's all. I was really filming just so he would do that. But that is a warning signal to predators and things that they don't want around, and it's also a way they communicate back and forth amongst each other, trying to tell each other what's going on. But alrighty guys, if you have any other questions, feel free to ask. I'll try to get on the WPSD post and answer them. Again, like I said, these are, people have gone to my Facebook page, which is public, and have looked at it and said, oh, you don't, there's pictures of dead beaver on there and things like that. And that is the truth. But I do not have the ability to release them all. So we have to have proper population control, along with, getting to do this from time to time and be able to find new homes for certain animals. Alrighty guys, hope everybody's having a good one, and if y'all need anything, just holler at me. Thank you.